The Book of Jubilees Chapter 10, the naming of the land of Canaan stolen by Ham and sons, and the Tower of Babel events. Chapter 10, the Book of Jubilees. And in the third week of this Jubilee, the unclean demons began to lead astray the children of sons of Noah, and to make to err and destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah, their father, and they told him concerning the demons, which were leading astray, and blinding, and slaying his sons. And he prayed before Yahuwah his Elohim, and said, Elohim of spirits of all flesh, who has shown mercy upon me, and has saved me and my sons from the waters of the flood, and has not caused me to perish, as thou didst the sons of perdition. For thy grace has been great towards me, and great has been thy mercy to my soul. Let thy grace be lifted up upon my sons, and let not wicked spirits rule over them, lest they should destroy them from the earth. But do thou bless me and my sons, that we may increase and multiply and replenish the earth. And thou knowest how thy watchers, the fathers of these spirits, acted in my day. And as for these spirits which are living in prison, them and hold them fast in the place of condemnation. And let them not bring destruction on the sons of thy servant, my Elohim Yahuwah. For these are malignant, and created in order to destroy, and let them not rule over the spirits of the living, for thou alone canst exercise dominion over them. And let them not have power over the sons of the righteous from henceforth and forevermore, Yahuwah. And Yahuwah our Elohim bade us to bind all, and the chief of the spirits, Mistema, came and said, Yahuwah, Creator, let some of them remain before me, and let them hearken to my voice, and do all that I shall say unto them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men, for these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgment, for great is the wickedness of the sons of men. And he, Yahuwah, said, Let the 10th part of them remain before him, and let 9 parts descend into the place of condemnation. And one of us he commanded that we should teach Noah all their medicines, for he knew that they would not walk in uprightness, nor strive in righteousness. And we did according to all his words, and all the malignant evil ones we bound in the place of condemnation, and a 10th part of them we left, that they might be subject before Satan on the earth. And we explained to Noah all the medicines of their diseases, together with their seductions, how he might heal them with herbs of the earth. And Noah wrote down all things in the book, as we instructed him concerning every kind of medicine. Thus the evil spirits were precluded from hurting the sons of Noah, and he gave all that he had written to Shem, his eldest son, for he loved him exceedingly above all his sons. And Noah slept with his fathers, and was buried on Mount Lubar in the land of Arad. 950 years he completed in his life, 19 jubilees in 2 weeks and 5 years, in 1659 a.m. And in his life on earth he excelled the children of men, save Enoch, because of the righteousness wherein he was perfect. For Enoch's office was ordained for a testimony to the generations of the world, so that he should recount all the deeds of generation until generation, to the day of judgment. And in the 33rd Jubilee, in the first year, in the 2nd week, Peleg took to himself a wife whose name was Loma, the daughter of Sinera. And she bare him a son in the 4th year of this week, and he called his name Ru. For he said, Behold, the children of men have become evil through the wicked purpose of building for themselves a city and a tower in the land of Shinar. And they departed from the land of Arad eastward to Shinar, for in his days they built the city and the tower, saying, Go to, let us ascend thereby into heaven. And the precept and witness to this story is in Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there, meaning the sons of Noah and their descendants. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city, and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahuwah came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men build. And Yahuwah said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they had imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahuwah scattered them abroad from this upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahuwah did there confound their language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahuwah scatter them abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Now continuing back to the book of Jubilees, chapter 10, verse 20 through 30. And they began to build, and in the 4th week they made brick with fire, and the bricks served them for stone, and the clay with which they cemented them together was asphalt, which comes out of the sea and out of the fountains of water in the land of Shinar. And they built it 43 years, 1645 through 1688 AM, were they building it, and its breadth was 203 bricks, and the height of its bricks was third of one, and its heights amounted to 5433 cubits and 2 palms, and the extent of one wall was 13 stades, and of the other 30 stades. And Yahuwah our Elohim said unto us, Behold, they are one people, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be withholding from them. Go to, let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech, and that they may be dispersed into cities and nations, and one purpose will no longer abide with them till the day of judgment. And Yahuwah descended, and we descended with him to see the city, and the tower which the children of men had built. And he confounded their languages, and they no longer understood one another's speech, and they ceased then to build the city and the tower. For this reason, the whole land of Shinar is called Babel, because Yahuwah did there confounded all the languages of the children of men, and from this they were dispersed into their cities, each according to his language and his nation. And Yahuwah sent a mighty wind against the tower, and overthrew it upon the earth, and behold, it was between Asher and Babylon in the land of Shinar, and they this called its name Overthrow. In the 4th week, in the 1st year, 1688 AM, in the beginning thereof, in the 4th and 13th Jubilee, were they dispersed from the land of Shinar. Now the book of Asher, chapter 9, verse 20 through 39, is also a precept and a witness that explains in detail what took place while building the Tower of Babel and the thoughts of the men that were building it. And the king Nimrod, which is part of Ham's descendant, his son, reigned securely, and all the earth was under his control, and all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. And all the princes of Nimrod and his great men took counsel together, Phut, Mizraim, Cush, and Canaan, with their families, and they said to each other, Come, let us build ourselves a city, and in it a strong tower, and its top reaching heaven, and we will make ourselves fame, so that we may reign upon the whole world, in order that the evil of our enemies may cease from us, that we may reign mightily over them, and that we may not become scattered over the earth on the account of their wars. And they all went before the king, and they told the king these words. And the king agreed with them in this affair, and he did say so. And all the families assembled, consisting about 600,000 men, and they went to seek an extensive piece of ground to build the city and the tower. And they sought in the whole earth, and they found none like the one valley at the east of the land of Shinar, about 2 days' walk, and they journeyed there, and they dwelt there. And they began to make bricks and build and burn fires to build the city and the tower that they had imagined to complete. And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin, and they began to build it. And whilst they were building against Yahuwah Elohim of heaven, they imagined in their hearts to war against him and to ascend into heaven. And all these people and all their families divided themselves in three parts. The first said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him, which they're talking about, Yahuwah. The second said, we will ascend to heaven and place our own gods there and serve them. And the third part said, we will ascend into heaven and smite him with bows and spears. And Elohim Yahuwah knew all their works and all their evil thoughts, and he sat and saw their city and tower which they were building. And when they were building, they built themselves a great city and a very high and strong tower, and on account of its height the mortar and bricks did not reach the builders in their ascent to it, until those who went up and had completed a full year, and after that they reached to the builders and gave them the mortar and the bricks. Thus was it done daily. And behold, these ascended and others descended the whole day. And if a brick should fall from their hands and get broken, they would all weep over it. And if a man fell and died, none of them would look at him. And Yahuwah knew their thoughts, and it came to pass when they were building, they cast the arrows toward the heavens, and all of the arrows fell upon them, filled with blood. And when they saw them, they said to each other, surely we have slain all those that are in heaven. For this was from Yahuwah, in order to cause them to err, in order to destroy them from off the face of the ground. And as they built the tower and the city, and they did this thing daily until many days and years were lapsed, Elohim Yahuwah said to the 70 angels who stood foremost before him, to those who were near to him, saying, come, let us descend and confuse their tongues, that one man shall not understand the language of his neighbor. And they did so unto them. And from that day following, they forgot each man his neighbor's tongue, that could not understand to speak in one tongue. And when the builder took from the hand of his neighbor lime or stone, which he did not order, the builder would cast it away and throw it upon his neighbor, that he would die. And they did so many days, and they killed many of them in this manner. And Yahuwah smote the 3 divisions that were there, and he punished them according to their works and designs. Those who said, we will ascend to heaven and serve our gods, became like apes and elephants. And those who said, we will smite the heaven with arrows, Yahuwah killed them, one man through the hand of his neighbor. And the 3rd division of those who said, we will ascend to heaven and fight against him, Yahuwah scattered them throughout the earth. And those who were left amongst them, when they knew and understood the evil which was coming upon them, they forsook the building, and they also became scattered upon the face of the whole earth. And they ceased building the city and the tower. Therefore he called the place Babel. For there Yahuwah confounded the language of the whole earth. Behold, it was at east of the land of Shinar. And as to the tower which the sons of men built, the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up 1/3 part thereof. And a fire also descended from heaven and burned another third. And the other third is left to this day, and it is of that part which was aloft, and it is circumference in 3 days' walk. And many of the sons of men died in that tower, of people without number. Now continuing back to the book of Jubilees, chapter 10, verse 30 through 36. And Ham and his sons went into the land which he was to occupy, which he acquired as his portion in the land of the south. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt, was very good, that it was very good, and he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west, that is to the sea, and he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward from the border of Jordan, and from the border of the sea. And Ham and his father, and Cush and Mizraim his brothers, said unto him, Thou hast settled in a land which is not yours, and which did not fall to us by lot. Do not do so, for if thou doest so, thou and thy sons will fall in the land, and be accursed through sedition. For by sedition ye have settled, and by sedition will thy children fall, and thou shalt be rooted out forever. Dwelt not in the dwelling of Shem, for to Shem to his sons did it come by their lot. Cursed art thou, and cursed shalt thou be beyond all the sons of Noah, by the curse by which we bound ourselves by an oath in the presence of the holy judge, and in the presence of Noah our father. But he did not hearken unto them, and dwelt in the land of Lebanon from Hamath to the entering of Egypt, he and his sons until this day. And for this reason that land is named Canaan. And Japheth and his sons went toward the sea, and dwelt in the land of their portion. And Madiah saw the land of sea, and it did not please him. And he begged a portion from Ham, and Asher, and Apishai, his wife's brother. And he dwelt in the land of Media, near to his wife's brother, until this day. And he called his dwelling place, and the dwelling place of his sons, Media, after the name of their father, Madiah. And that is the end of chapter 10 of the book of Jubilees, with the precepts of the book of Genesis and of the book of Asher, chapter 9. Genesis chapter 11, verse 1 through 9.